I've been through a lot of isolation periods, and every time I go through a season of isolation, some great shit happens right after, y'all. You know what I mean? The breakthrough happens right after. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen next, but every season of if I look at my track record, look back at all the isolation seasons I've been through, something great happened after every one. You know what I mean? I didn't know it was coming, but I knew something great was coming. You know what I mean? I didn't know exactly the details, the X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us start to get in our heads too much about this isolation season because we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's next. We don't need to know all that. That's not for us to understand. Our job is to be obedient. You know what I mean? Our job is to be obedient and trust God during the season no matter what. You know what I mean? Our job is to be obedient. You know, Washington. You know what I mean? Shout out to Washington. Been in isolation for a month. Oh, you just started, Queen. You've been in isolation for a month? Hey, it's just the beginning, Queen. You know what I mean? It's just the beginning, so make sure you ready. You know what I mean? 3 months, okay, VA. Shout out to the DMV. I ain't been back home in the DMV in a minute. You know what I mean? Man, y'all got it. During this isolation journey, we got it, bro. We got to be patient and really just got to be obedient. Stop trying to question God. You know what I mean? A lot of us got the audacity to walk around here like, I got blind faith. I trust God here. I trust God there. But when he puts you in a season where you're uncomfortable and you don't know the details of what's going to happen next, what happened to all your faith? All your faith goes out the window. I don't get that. You just had faith like 5 days ago. And now that God put you in a season where you're uncomfortable, it's like all the faith went away. Somebody explain that to me. I never understood that. You know what I mean? I never understood. But I wanted to get on here and talk to y'all about, because I just got off the call with my community. I want to talk to about temptations and vices. You know what I mean? Who's in this season of isolation dealing with temptations, bad habits, you know what I'm saying, things they have to let go? Who's struggling with that right now? You know what I'm saying? If you're struggling with that, let me know exactly what you're struggling with. Who's struggling with temptation, vices, bad habits? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to fix those. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop giving our attention to those things, and we got to start giving our attention to the things that matter. You know what I'm saying? Because once you give your attention to it, it then controls you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you give your attention to, it then controls you, and that becomes your demon. You know what I'm saying? So if you give your attention to drugs, you give your attention to alcohol, you give your attention to people that you're not supposed to be around, they become your demon. You know what I mean? That becomes your demon. You know what I mean? So we got to be cautious about what we give our attention to, what we give our focus to. You know what I'm saying? It's like watching the news. When you watching the news, a lot of us be watching the news and watching certain television and TV shows and listening to certain music. All of that is your demon. All of that is subconsciously holding you back in life, subconsciously pulling you backwards. All of that is hurting you on the back end. You don't see it, but it compound effect that hurts you. You know what I mean? So we got to be cautious about what we feed in our spirit. You know what I mean? We can't be feeding negativity in our spirit. We got to be feeding abundance, wealth, growth, healing, success. You know what I'm saying? We got to be cautious about what we feed into our spirit. You know what I'm saying? We can't be feeding ourselves negativity and toxicity and bad people. We got to be cautious of all of that. You know what I'm saying? You make the devil's job easier when you're feeding yourself into that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easier for the devil to control a demon than it is for a devil to control a God. You know what I mean? It's easier to control a demon than it is to control a God. So you making the devil's job easier. You just giving it to him. You choose, I'm going to go out today. I'm going to go link that person. I'm going to go do that thing. I'm going to go here, X, Y, Z. You making his job easier. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be cautious, y'all, about what we feed our spirit, bro. If it's not helping me develop mentally, if it's not helping me develop emotionally, if it's not healing me, if it's not growing me in the areas that I'm weak at, I don't want to have nothing to do with it. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? So we got to be on it, y'all. We got to be cautious about what we feed our spirit. We got to stop trying to mask away, a lot of us, we try to mask away like the truth, and mask away something that we're struggling with, something we got to be better. We try to put a mask over and cover it up and try to act like it doesn't exist. Stop trying to do that. Face that thing. You know what I mean? Stop trying to mask away the truth. Because the truth will set you free. Knowing yourself will set you free. You know what I'm saying? The quickest way to free yourself is to know yourself. Is to know thyself. You know what I mean? So free yourself. Stop trying to mask away the truth. Stop trying to, you know you got to be better in that area. You know you got to get a better relationship with God. You know you got to get right physically. You know you got to get right mentally. You know you're not where you want to be in life. What are you trying to mask away the truth for? What are you trying to hide from? You know what I mean? I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. Why do we do that? Why do we try to mask the truth? You know what I'm saying? If I know I got to be better in this specific area, I'm double down on that, and I'm figuring out how I can get help in that area. You know what I'm saying? I'm figuring out how I can, all right, how do I do that? How do I XYZ? How do I grow? I'm trying to figure that area out. I'm not going to try to mask that away. What we doing, y'all? You know what I'm saying? So we got to be better, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? It starts with, like I said, it starts with acknowledging it. Acknowledging what you got to be better at. Acknowledging that demon, that thing that's controlling you, that vice. You got to acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? You got to acknowledge it and speak it out and say, this is the thing that's holding me back. This is my backwards. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't free yourself from something you're not aware of. You know what I'm saying? You can't get hope for something that you can't acknowledge, that you can't say. You know what I mean? So you got to acknowledge that thing. You got to say, all right, I got to be better emotionally. I got to be better with my relationships. I got to handle my emotions. I got anger issues. I got X, Y, and Z I got to work on. You got to acknowledge that. You know what I mean? You can't get hope from something you can't acknowledge. You know what I mean? I hope y'all can hear me. You can't get hope from something you can't acknowledge. Closed mouths don't get fed. So if you crying out to God, how you supposed to cry out to God and ask for help if you don't even know the area that you need help with? How can you cry out to God and ask for help and ask for assistance and pray and ask for guidance if you don't even know the area that you got to be better at? How can you do that? So it starts with acknowledging it. You know what I'm saying? Once you acknowledge it, then you're aware of it. You know what I'm saying? And once you're aware of it, then you can move forward from that. Once you acknowledge it, you then become aware of what you want to, the area you want to go to. You know what I'm saying? Where you want to go in life. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. I want to stop drinking. All right, cool. I'm going to stop drinking. This is, first you want to visualize. First off, once you acknowledge it, you want to visualize how your life would look if you. Hey, let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me, man. Y'all, my phone is about to die, but I got something on my spirit I want to talk to y'all. Y'all want to first acknowledge the thing that you're struggling with. Whatever that temptation is, whatever that vice is, whatever that bad habit is, whatever that's holding you backwards in life, you want to acknowledge that thing. You know what I'm saying? And then you want to visualize what your life would look like if you used to get rid of this thing. You know what I'm saying? And visualize, orchestrate your future. What is your future heaven on earth look like if you used to get rid of this bad habit, get rid of this temptation, the thing that's holding you back? What would your life look like? What is the fruit and what is the abundance and the peace? What does that look like? You know what I'm saying? You want to figure that out. You want to become, it goes back to having self-awareness. You want to become aware of what does that look like. You know what I'm saying? And once I realize, all right, this is what my life looks like. This is what a peaceful and abundant, a perfect life would look like to me. All right, then you got to, then that's when it starts. Then you can create steps and a plan and a layout and a blueprint of how you can become that person. You know what I'm saying? You want to become that person. You know what I'm saying? That can live that dream life, live that peace, live that abundance. You want to be that. You know what I'm saying? You heard Myron Golden talks about it a lot. Be, do, have. You become the person, you do better, you have better. You know what I mean? You become the person, you do better, you have better. You know what I'm saying? But it all starts to acknowledging it, you know, speaking out your mouth. Closed mouths don't get fed. Speaking out, crying out to God. God, I need to be better in this area. God, this thing is holding me back. This person is holding me back. This bad habit, this whatever this is holding me back. You have to speak it out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And then look further down the line. All right, this is the life I want to live. This is the future. This is what my future heaven looks like. This is what peace looks like. This is what I want. This is what happiness looks like. You know what I mean? And then you become that person. You work on yourself. You grow emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You become that person who can live that dream life. You know what I'm saying? Once you become that person, guess what? You then do better, and then you have better. You know what I mean? It's not rocket science, y'all. We gotta be better. Stop trying to mask away those temptations and those bad habits that you're dealing with. Stop trying to do that. Stop trying to do that. Face those fears. Stop trying to run from the fears. Run to the fears. You know what I'm saying? Run to the issue. You know what I'm saying? Dissect the issue. Where did this come from? Look at the root. You know what I'm saying? Work on the root knowledge. A lot of us trying to work on the branch. How can you work on the branch if you can't work on the root? The branch wouldn't be the branch if it wasn't for the root. It starts in the root. So you got to do root work. You know what I'm saying? Dissect. Where does this come from? Where does the temptation come from? Does it come from my parents? Does it come from something I went through when I was a teenager? Does it come from trauma? Does it come from X, Y? What is it? Where does that root? Tap into the root work. You know what I mean? Tap into that, y'all. But how y'all feeling though? How y'all feeling though? Know what I mean? Who's healing? Who's growing? Know what I'm saying? We got to use this season of isolation to really just grow and develop and become more self-aware of who we are, y'all. We got to do that, man. Yeah, man. I want y'all to embrace this season of isolation. I want y'all to heal through it, grow, look at the bright side of it, be optimistic. Stop trying to look at the bad and look at what's going wrong. Look at what's going right. You know what I'm saying? Look at what's going right. Look at it in a perspective that God chose you to be in this isolation season. God saw the potential in you. He saw great things in you. You know what I'm saying? He sees a future in you. That's why he put you in this season of isolation. The chosen get put in the isolation season. You know what I mean? The chosen get put in these seasons. God chose you for a reason. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps me optimistic. I'm looking at everything that can come out of this isolation season. I'm looking at all the fruit, all the blessings, all the abundance, everything that can come out of it. That's what keeps me going, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So figure out what keeps you going. Embrace your isolation season. Grow through it. Develop it. You know what I mean? And do what it do. Man, I'm about to hop off, y'all. I appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? Join the isolation community. Link in bio. Get around other isolators. Peace, y'all.